Some days after this I was leaving my library when something impelled me to come to a standstill in front of a large roll-top American desk, standing against the southern wall of the room. Some power suggested, "Search." I opened the desk and pulled out the top left-hand drawer, which was a book rack, and not a drawer in its ordinary sense, and it was empty. The next drawer, which was in reality the top drawer proper, contained a number of articles belonging to my late wife, placed there years ago. I took them all out one by one until there was nothing remaining but an ordinary cigar box, containing several small trifles. One of them was a small wooden box about 3x 2.5x 1 inches tied up in a silk pocket handkerchief. I must confess to absolutely no recollection as to how and when I placed it there, nor do I recollect ever having placed it in that box, but that I must have done so years ago becomes evident from the fact that, when I untied the handkerchief and opened the small wooden box, I found another small cardboard box with an inscription on the cover in my own handwriting, "My dear mother's photograph." I would here remark that this is not only clear evidence of spirit clairvoyant power, and proof of the contention that matter offers no obstacle to the penetration of psychic force, but marvelous testimony to the prescience of spirit entities at the same time. In respect to these photographs, it will be borne in mind that on the first occasion of my meeting with Mr. Beard in his London office, he, after a few minutes' conversation, surprised me by saying that I was surrounded by quite a number of spirit forms, and after a little while he described one whom I recognized as my mother. He was particular in describing a peculiar cap with broad lappets this spirit form was wearing, as also a mantle, or something over the shoulders, fastened with some round ornament or brooch. This peculiar cap was, it should not be overlooked, impressed upon Mr. Beard's attention more than once by my mother, and so was the brooch, and, strangely enough, these two articles of attire, and these two alone, are the only distinguishing characteristics of my mother's photographs in the small box, so, what might be termed, miraculously restored to me. It will be observed that, right through these manifestations, runs a chain of sequential events. The cap and brooch, without the photograph, would have conveyed no meaning. The photographs were in existence, but were mislaid or lost. These photographs were recovered by the aid of spirit power in quite a dramatic fashion, and, when compared with the medium's description of my mother's features and headdress, mantle and brooch, all were found to tally precisely in every detail.